In this video are the top 5 must-buy players in Dynasty Fantasy Football right now, especially after all the moves that were made in the NFL free agency. Buy lows, buy highs, league winners, everything you need to know is coming right now in this video to dominate your league. And there is one extremely deep sleeper quarterback I have at the end of the video you guys do want to stick around for. He's 10 times lower, the actual value he should be at. If you're going to do anything, skip through, make sure you see that part of the video. But starting with number 1, Zach Charbonnet, and I've been on this guy since he came out of college. One of the best dual threat running back prospects around. And very quickly, if you guys do enjoy this kind of content, hit that subscribe button or even like the video as well. It helps me as a creator a ton, but obviously you found this channel for a reason. But as far as an RB2 goes, he is a great guy for job security, and that's something that you do want in Dynasty Fantasy Football. Every time he's filled in for Kenneth Walker, he has been amazing. If you isolate those 8 games without Kenneth Walker, he's averaging 19.4 touches per game and 18.7 fantasy points per game. Keep in mind, those are his rookie numbers and his sophomore numbers from last season. Like, he's still a very young guy. This guy has shown that he's talented in the times that he's seen the ball, and just last season alone, he was 10th in fantasy points per opportunity given. That is an amazing efficiency metric. You guys know I'm really all about efficiency when it comes to Dynasty and just football in general. He was 3rd in routes run per game, 3rd in juke rate, 7th in yards created per touch. He was a 2nd round pick in 2022 behind Kenneth Walker, who debatably is injury prone. He's never really played a full season healthy, and he's 24 years old. Still, that is young. Now, typically you don't want to be buying in on running backs at a big price because their job security is more or less terrible compared to every other position, unless they're a top guy like Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley, but they still carry their own risks. Charbonnet, he signed a 4-year contract extension with the Seahawks in 2023. He was given high draft capital, and there isn't a high chance of him getting completely cut out of this offense. He averaged 4.2 yards per carry his rookie and sophomore season. Like, these are a lot of factors that play in to his job security and something that you want to be looking at when you're looking for running backs you want to buy in on in Dynasty Football. With great receiving efficiency he does have, he blocks well. I mean, he's on 3rd downs, pass plays are his. With Charbonnet going around a 10th round pick value, there isn't much true hype for him, again, because we have Kenneth Walker on the roster and his perceived value probably isn't going to change too much. So grab him on your roster while you can, but a young wide receiver we need to absolutely be looking at here, and the disrespect is crazy that he has been getting lately. It is Keon Coleman, and when I say he's being underlooked, I do mean it. His value is at the wide receiver 49 in Dynasty, which is absolutely insane. Sean McDermott is notoriously hard on his rookies. He always has been, regardless of the position on the football field they play. Coleman, he was late to a meeting. He kind of had a rocky start to a rookie season as far as that goes. So being late to that meeting made him sit half of a game, and it was kind of a bad start to get off to the season. And then everybody was kind of hating on his value because he didn't do that. And then he dealt with a wrist injury in week 9. He never really came back the same. All things that play into people not liking him. And I say this because, one, if you look at his game log, after that wrist injury, he was dropping a ton of passes left and right. 29 targets, only 10 catches. That's including 7 games with the playoffs as well. There's no debate that that is terrible, but the Bills GM and Sean McDermott said to the media Coleman wasn't the same after coming back from that injury, so it was pretty clear that he's dealing with that, and he was in the back half of last season, so you can't hold that against him too much. And when all of those things come together to a really negative end to the season, it leaves everybody with a bad taste in their mouth of the player value, and that's why he's insanely low at the wide receiver 50. We can all agree there's no way he stays that low, though. I mean, the guy's turning 22 in May. No other wide receiver that age is going to be valued that low. It's just, you have to put those two things together. He's on one of the best teams in the NFL. They just signed Josh Allen to a 6-year extension. Like, the team is going to be good for a while. Now, you have to look at the other side of this argument. Yes, they did bring in Josh Palmer in free agency, but they have 2 completely different play styles between each other. Coleman isn't going to take any of Josh Palmer's work. Neither is vice versa. It's not going to go that way. And in no world should Coleman be valued this low. If they draft more wide receivers in the NFL draft, maybe we can think differently, but for now, this is a great value. But keeping it on your wide receivers, you do have to have your eyes on Jalen Coker. You're doing something wrong if you don't. This is a guy that has set the tone in the NFL as far as being an undrafted guy from Holy Cross that made a name for himself. Undrafted wide receivers usually do not do that. Now, Bryce Young is playing way better, and that has a lot to do with it compared to his rookie season. After Bryce Young came back from his benching in week 8, he averaged 2 touchdowns a game and only 6 interceptions for the entirety of the rest of that season. He looked like he got his confidence back. He had multiple games over 200 passing yards, something he did only 5 times in his rookie season. Like, All this to say, Bryce Young is getting a lot better, and that gives Jalen Coker a clear path to playing more snaps. Even if the Panthers do bring in more pass catchers in the draft, I'm not too worried, and I also don't think that's something they will do. They have Adam Thielen, they re-signed him, they have Xavier Legette, and they have Jalen Coker. So as far as an undrafted guy, his job security is insanely safe. He is only 23, under contract until 2027, so until that comes close, I really doubt that they're going to do anything to replace him. You can look at the Panthers trading Jonathan Mingo as their guy that was supposed to be the future to build around as a building block, validating that statement that Jalen Coker and these younger guys are probably who they're going to be building around for now. Terrence Marshall is also not on the team anymore. We have Legette, who is definitely going to have a role in the future and will continue to do that. Again, Adam Thielen, 3-year contract. He restructured that in 2025. He's turning 35. He's likely not going to be a huge negative in the coming years, especially when we're looking on a dynasty timeline. The coaching staff likely won't be changed next season and the season's coming, which is a big plus to take into account for the entire offensive success and Bryce Young. And when you look at his specifics, he's been increasing his snap share and route participation by the week, bringing that up to 90% consistently in the end of the season. He has one of the highest rookie PFF grades for wide receivers, only behind Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas and Marvin Harrison Jr. from last season. And his fantasy point share per route run has been increasing as well. Like, all of his numbers are doing good. He's rostered in less than 50% of dynasty leagues, but if he is already rostered, you can get him for 3rd or 4th round picks in 2026, 2027. That's a guy that I do like. Or even a guy like Cole Kmet you could send to get Jalen Coker. Those are all things I'm more than happy with doing. Now, if you believe that the path to success for Jalen Coker is there and you can see where the thought process is, you also have to believe that the Panthers are going to be improving, so that also means you have to be buying in on Jatavion Sanders. Now, if you isolate his fantasy points per game, he won't look great. All things considered, his numbers aren't really going to jump out the sheet for you, but once he earned his primary tight end role for the Panthers in week 5, he held it and did show some flashes. In weeks 5 through 9, we see his mini breakout where he had at least 5 targets in 4 of those 5 games. He had 3 top 15 tight end finishes, 2 12-point fantasy games, and over 70% route participation in that stretch of those 5 games. Like, that's a really good little mini breakout of numbers here, but it doesn't just end there. When you look deeper into the advanced metrics, he ran 177 routes from the slot. He was number 1 in target separation amongst all tight ends, and he had 106.9 passer rating when targeted by Bryce Young. That's pretty good. All of this in his first year playing the tight end position, which is one that's harder to get into because you have to learn how to receive and block and do a whole bunch of other things. 22 years old, 6'4", 252 pounds. He can block very well, again, which is going to get you on the field a lot more as a tight end. He's obviously a great pass catcher. We saw that last season, and this offense is still young. They're still figuring things out. They're only going to get better, and a very small chance that Sanders doesn't return his value. He's a tight end 29, so it's not even like you're losing value at that point. And if you do enjoy statistical analysis like this behind your Dynasty Fantasy Football information, please make sure to subscribe. That is everything I do on this channel, especially if you're watching this far in the video. But if you skip to this part of the video, I don't blame you. The number 1 guy we need to be looking at here is Joe Milton. Now, I had him in this video before he got traded to the Cowboys, and even now that he is on the Cowboys, it's still a valid guy because of how low he is valued. He's the quarterback 50 right now. 50, bro. Like, I'm being completely honest, that is not okay. Yes, he was a 6th round pick. He has not really played more than 1 garbage time game in the NFL. That's week 18. Seems valid, right? QB 50, he doesn't really have much to go for him, but it's only a matter of time until the Patriots trade him, which they did to the Cowboys, proving he has a little bit of value. The Cowboys got rid of Cooper Rush, replaced him with Joe Milton. I think that's a strong idea for the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, he's re-signed until he's like 37, 38, 39 years old. He's not really going to be going anywhere soon, but he has had some injury concerns over the past few years. Joe Milton is a good backup plan for that. And also, when Dak Prescott is gone, he's not going to be playing in the NFL forever. They likely do have their backup plan in Joe Milton. Now, he is a very, very raw prospect. He might have one of the strongest arms in the NFL. He's also 6'5", 246, extremely mobile. Kind of reminds me of Cam Newton a little bit, but less polished, of course. Now, again, he's not a perfect quarterback. That's probably the one thing that is the issue. But he does have the tangibles that can kind of give you a little bit of a foresight into the future. Maybe he can do something if he can get these things together. He is at a cheap price. Give him a shot, which is what the Cowboys did exactly. His preseason tape was a good baseline of what he can do. And when you look at his week 18 game, the one that he did play in the NFL, he went 22 for 29 passing attempts, had 241 yards, 1 touchdown with no interceptions. That, I mean, isn't terrible. And this is the time of year when those rookie draft picks are at the all-time high for your league mates in fantasy football. So when you look at him, he's 25, he's still young. There's no way eventually he doesn't get a shot on the Cowboys, or maybe he even goes to a new team in a few years from now. Worst case scenario, he's a solid backup for Dak Prescott or some other NFL quarterback. You get him for absolute free because there's no price attached to his name. And best case scenario, you get a QB1 one day. But again, quarterback 50, way too low to not be looking his way in fantasy football. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate you. All glory to the man above, and I will see you in the next one coming very soon.